Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to a new trading week and a new trading month. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift and welcome to your Sunday weekly review. So now that the month of January is behind us, we're starting the new month of February, and the first Friday of every new month we would expect NFP, right? So right now on Friday, as you can see here from the calendar, we have NFP on Friday, but we also have another one that we need to watch out for this week, which is on Thursday, and that is for GBP. That's the MPC official bank rate votes and monetary policy summary, right? So we have two back-to-back kind of high impact events at the end of the week, which generally, implies that you should get, or try to get your trading done earlier in the week, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so you can kind of avoid this chop here that's going to happen. But if you absolutely must trade the news, obviously you should wait until the news release and, you see the moves kind of play out for the news. Then you can kind of pick and choose your setups if there are, confirmations there for those moves, right? But generally, if you can get your trading done early, that would be the best case scenario. And kind of avoid all of this news that is going to happen at the end of the week. Let's take a look at the charts next here. We're going to go into the DXY monthly chart. We're going to start with our top-down analysis, okay, as we always do. So as you can see here from the monthly chart, we have actually traded into the monthly imbalance, okay, so from December into the month of January. So this is the monthly close. As you can see, we actually closed with a doji, right, like kind of a bearish doji candle here, trading above the imbalance initially at one point in the month, and then coming back down and closing inside of the imbalance, right? So we didn't kind of get the momentum carried through from the month of December for January. So we actually see a little bit of that momentum dying down and possibly even seeing price now reversing and coming back into the range, right? So not too much else we can kind of tell from here because that we did close back inside the imbalance. It, generally says to me that we are, seeing some weakness come back in, right? So probably price will start to come back into the range at the very least. So let's take a look at the weekly and see if we can get some more kind of information on what we think price will do here. So on the weekly chart, right, what you can see is that the weekly reaction, okay, at the top of the imbalance there sent price lower, right? And we saw price actually come back into another weekly imbalance right here, and that's where we're getting this bullish reaction from the last week, right? This candle up here. So if I go back out to the monthly markups, you can see the monthly imbalance level here, right? So we actually kind of closed outside of that monthly imbalance level, which happened to coincide with this weekly bullish imbalance level here, right? And that's where this kind of move comes back in. So what we want to see here is, will this move or this imbalance here, this bullish imbalance here, hold, right? And we see price then come back up through the high, right? So if we come back and close back above this monthly imbalance level, then there's a good chance that we'll see price come up and run for this high. Now, if we don't see the continuation, right, I don't know if you can actually see from this. I will zoom in here so that you can, but there is a very, very tiny imbalance here, okay, that we can trade into and possibly reject from to go lower. And so if price is going to go lower this week, right, then we will see price come back through and close back below this monthly imbalance level, right, overlapping with this weekly bullish level here. So let's take off the monthly levels here. And so what I'm saying is basically if we get a move like this where if price fails to push through that high, okay, and so we get like a lower high candle over here and we come back and close below the monthly imbalance level, right, and thereby effectively negating this bullish imbalance, then we will continue to see price go down, right? And then we should see something like this where we get a retracement back into that level, and then the continuation down after that, right? So it all depends on how the weekly close, and I think NFP will certainly give us a good indication of what price is going to do. So if we get another big weekly candle at the end of the week on Friday after NFP, we see that we do end up with another bullish candle, right? And we see price moving higher back up into the imbalance, then it's pretty likely that we'll see price continue higher from there and run for the high, right? But if we do see the reaction at this level here, and we do see price failing to push higher, and we see a bearish, close back below that monthly imbalance level, then we'll probably look for price to continue down from there, right? So let's go to the daily, and let's see if we can get some more information, as well as insights on what the structure is looking like. So from the daily perspective, you can see that we're kind of caught also between the bullish and bearish perspective here, because we have a bullish order block and imbalance that price has basically keyed off of. We can see the reaction, right? Nice pin bar rejection, and then price steadily moving higher. We can see many bullish candles, right, pushing up the range. Now, if this continues higher, right, then we should see price, like I said, continue through, making a higher high and taking out this level, right? As we see price making, continuous bullish daily candles, what we want to see price trade through, because you can see it here as well, that tiny little imbalance right here, right? That's the level plus the order block as well. So I can actually mark the order block here, right? And then we'll see if price gets through this level, because if we get above this order block level, then that's pretty much going to negate any kind of bullish bearish ideas for me, because I'm going to basically be looking for price to run the highs in that case, right? If we run above the order block here. But if price does manage to respect the OB here, right, or the imbalance really is what I'm looking for, is that level to be respected there, right? Then I'll be looking for price to just kind of continue down, right? And then seeing if we get that close below that monthly imbalance level, right, closing back below this bullish imbalance level, and then if we get the full closure below this low here, right, then that's going to be certainly bearish for me going forward. Okay, so it's kind of in a consolidation range here, and at the start of the month with NFP and everything, we'll see how that kind of pans out, and probably won't be till the end of the week until we really get some clarity on what we're going to be doing afterwards. So expect price to kind of stay inside this kind of consolidation area here until we get a little bit more information on how it wants to move. Okay, let's drop down to the 4, and let's just see what we can predict for the opening moves on the market. Okay, if we take a look at the 4-hour markups here, the last thing that we did here, we can see, is that we broke below the structure. Okay, we traded back into the imbalance over here. We actually mitigated some of this consolidation. As you can see, that's where we see the reaction and the move higher. We actually got a gap above, which caused the change of character, right? And then price actually came back into the imbalance area here, and then we saw the nice bullish reaction, which took us above this high over here. Okay, so now we didn't get a candle close above this level, so we certainly could still reject from this and go lower, right? But if we do continue to make higher lows and higher highs, this will be the next area I'll be looking for price to run into, right? And that's going to be our daily order block level and that tiny imbalance that we saw. So that level is where we're targeting. We're going to see if price reacts to that level bullishly, right? And if it does, it'll go right through it. But if it does respect it and we do see a bearish move, then we'll see something like this, as I said, right? And then we'll see price come down and through, right? So that's going to be what I'm going to be looking for initially. This is going to be a key area for me. So this is around the 109 big figure if we fill completely. But right at the open area here, we're going to be around 108.80. Okay, so that's going to be my range. I'm watching for price to respect this and either trade through or give us a bearish reaction to move lower. Okay, so that is for DXY. Let's go over to Euro Dollar next. All right, so for Euro Dollar, you can see on the monthly, kind of similar to what we saw on DXY, we have a monthly candle close, a doji candle close after trading into a monthly imbalance, right? So we see that price has reacted from the imbalance, right? And then we see a candle close back up into the range here. So potentially we could see a reversal here as well, right? If price does continue to move up from this level, we'll want to see price trade back into the range, and then the next area we'll see price kind of gravitate towards will be this monthly imbalance level right here. Okay, and that should be the next target to the upside if we do start to retrace back up. So let's go to the weekly chart and let's see if there's anything on the weekly that can tell us what it wants to do. So let's go to the weekly markups here, right? And so you can see the monthly right here overlaps with the weekly imbalance here that we traded off into. So basically what we're going to be looking for price to do is to kind of fill in the rest of the imbalance that we didn't trade back into, and also above here as well, but also coming back to mitigate maybe some of these lows on the way down, right? So same thing like the DXY, we saw the bullish candle close after the initial bullish week that we had, or the bearish week rather. On EU, we had this bullish week, right? And then now subsequently seeing the bearish week close from last week, right? We want to see if price is going to continue down and take out this low here, or are we going to respect the zone here because we have the sweep of liquidity, right? This is a sweep of that low here, and then seeing price actually come back up, giving us a small kind of change of character here, right? So if price is going to respect this low that we traded into, that we're seeing this bullish reaction from, or are we going to see price actually just run through the low, right? So if we are going to see price go higher, what we want to see actually is price breaking above this structural high over here, because that'll give us an internal higher high, and that'll actually show us that price or structure has started to shift back to the upside, right? And then we're going to look for something like this. But it all depends on what happens, if we hold this level or not. So what we can see here is from the weekly candles last week, we actually came up above this high here, okay? We swept the high and then we rejected and went lower, okay? So it's possible that we come down for the low here, okay, and continue lower from this point, and we don't actually move back up. So that's what we're going to be looking for price to do. So let's go to the daily chart and let's see if we can get some kind of confirmation here of what it should do from the daily perspective, right? So here you can see where we traded back into the imbalance here, into the order block, and respected it right here. Okay, and that's what caused the move down, right? With that we're getting, here's the sweep of the weekly high from the last week. Okay, so you can see that on a daily perspective here, and then the nice reversal that's potentially happening. So this is the order block that I'm looking for price to hold bullish if we are going to in fact continue back up to the upside. You can see that the change of character happened here on the daily after the sweep of the low, right? So we've got the imbalance and the order block here. So if we're going to react bullishly to this, this is what I'm going to be expecting next. And then breaking this high here, okay, and breaking that structure is going to tell me that we're back in line with bullish order flow and that we should expect price to reach for higher levels, right? So the next imbalance up here would be the case, right? But first we'd have to get above here first. So that will be the opening move, or the expectation. So let's go down the 4 hour and let's see if we can predict that from a 4 hour perspective. So if you look at the 4 hour here, if I take off the dailies and put on the 4 hour markups, you can see where we respected the bearish imbalance and the push lower, okay? A little liquidity sweep below some internal lows here, but this is the area that we're looking for price to react to, the daily OB area, right, overlapping with this imbalance area here, okay? And so seeing if we get a bullish reaction from this level and then the move back to the upside, okay? And if not, and we see price go straight through and trade through all of these levels here, trade through all of these lows, okay, then we'll be looking for potentially then price to just go through and take out this low over here, all right? And so that'll be what we wait for. And NFP will also probably be a factor in that, right? And we'll see if at the end of the week, if either of those two scenarios play out for us for euro dollar. All right, let's go over to GU next. So GU on the monthly chart. Okay, what we were looking at last week, because we had price coming into this monthly OB, we saw price actually reject from it. Okay, so we can see price took internal liquidity, so this low here was swept as we went down and traded into this monthly OB. The reaction was bullish, okay, even though we have a bearish candle close, right? But the reaction here at the OB was bullish, as we can see price close with a pin, right, back above the order block. So potentially we could see price retrace a little higher here, or reverse up a little higher here. If it does eventually go lower again, right, then it'll see price create a lower high here and then continue lower from there. But we want to see if we get maybe some sort of continuation or reaction from this bullish rejection that we're getting from the order block, right? So if we go down to the weekly chart and we take a look at the weekly, we can see that the reaction from the order block here was very nice, right? So we had a swing low formation, a big bullish engulfing candle here, okay? And so potentially a imbalance here that we can trade from and then see price go higher. So if I take off the monthly and put in the weekly, right, we can see that here. So looking for something like this where we get the bounce and then the continuation up, right? So same idea really for euro dollar as we are for GBP here, right? Because we still could also respect the level and go through, right? So what we're going to be looking for is, are we going to respect the level here? If we look at the daily chart, okay, are we going to respect the level here, right, that we're trading into, the daily order block and the top of the range, okay? Because you can see the imbalance here has been filled, right? But price is respecting the OB, or at the top of the range here, we're seeing price go lower. So where can price basically give us a bullish reaction to continue higher? Well, you can see that we created this nice big bullish candle with a imbalance, right? The order block below the imbalance here should be where we see a bounce if we can. We also have the one down below here as well, but we'll see if we get a reaction from the first one to go higher, right? But we could also see price come down here to this second one as well. And that would be where we see price hold bullish, right? Because we don't want to see price break the low if we're going to be bullish, right? And these two areas here should have to hold for us to continue higher. Now, if we trade through those levels, okay, and we don't see, bullish order flow holding, then we're going to see price go through the level and then continue down from there, right? Or something to that effect. So that's what we'll watch for. Let's go to the 4 hour here, and 4 hours just going to confirm basically what we're looking for here is that we have the respect of the imbalance here, right? Which is also the daily order block. We can see the reaction lower, although the reaction lower isn't very strong. Okay, so we can see that price has held or continued to hold bullish order flow on the way up here to that level here. So we want to see if price will continue to hold. This level here is going to be the overlap. So if you look at the daily chart here, that was the first order block, the daily order block level here. We want to see it hold. If that doesn't hold, then we have another one down here where we have a little open imbalance with an order block down here at the lows, right? So this little refined area down at the lows and the OB here. Okay, and so those will be the two areas we watch for price to continue to be bullish if it will, and then we can see if it does turn around. If we lose these two areas here, then obviously the low gets taken, and then we see price continue lower from there. But that'll be the outcome that we want to wait for. And GBP is going to be a little bit more particular because we have the Thursday news as well as Friday news, right? So we have two kind of chances to see what the high volatility impact news does for this this pair. All right, let's go over to gold next. So gold on the monthly chart, as you can see here, we have price trading through that monthly high or that all-time high level, okay, as we expected from last week, right? It just the respect of the monthly imbalance area here, right? And then seeing price go up and through that high is what we're looking for, and the 2800 level. So you can see that we've actually crossed that threshold now. 2817 was the high, and we closed the month pretty bullish, right? Pretty strong bullish candle. So I would expect this to continue higher. I mean, possibly looking at 2900 or even 3000 next. Kind of higher time frame. Longer term targets, of course, right? But the monthly close was very strong. We closed above. We didn't wick above and close back inside, right? We actually closed above the high with a big strong candle. So I'm expecting some more, bullishness here and more strength. So if we go to the weekly chart, we can see also that we had a clear weekly close with that weekly candle. So if we do see a little retracement inside any of these levels here, this order block or mitigating this high, or even just this this tiny imbalance here that we see on the weekly, trading back into that and then seeing price go up from there will be likely for me. So let's go to the daily. All right, and taking a look at the daily here, this is actually the level I'm going to be watching for the bullish reaction, right? So that we had a daily imbalance here that we traded through and broke the high. We have a wick, right, that's formed here, but this imbalance is overlapping with this last swing high that we made here on this push down, which broke the high. So I want to see price come back and mitigate this and actually go higher. So from here, trading back into this level and then seeing price pop up from there. So I want to see this imbalance hold, right? This level here is 2785, okay, or thereabouts. So watch that level. If price retraces back into that level, I want to see a bullish reaction and a move up from there. Let's see if we can get a little refined point of interest here from the 4-hour. Okay, so 4-hour, that would be the break of this H4 structure. Okay, so that level right there, once again, 2785, right? There's a small imbalance right there. There's also imbalances all the way up when we push through, but generally watching for this level here. So if I extend this across, watching for this consolidation here, well, we got stop hunt, right? Stop hunt below, and then seeing price come up like that. Okay, so let's see if we get that this week. And obviously Friday at the end of the week will be NFP, and then if it doesn't happen by then, maybe NFP will be the catalyst that does it. But we'll see if we get this kind of outcome here. If not, and we see price trade all the way through back below, there's certainly areas that we can see price react bullishly. Not just this one. This is just the first level. I would expect the bullish reaction to occur. But all the way down the range here, we have another order block here, and we also have the order block at the bottom. But ultimately, I'm looking for the low here to hold and just continue to push up, following the momentum. I don't see any bearish momentum kicking in just now or just yet, right? So I would like to see price continue the bullish order flow and just push up from the momentum that we're seeing. All right, and that is gold, and then we're going to go into the indices now, NQ and ES. Let's go over to NQ first. So here we go from the monthly chart here. We can see that price has continued to push higher. Okay, the last monthly close actually closed back inside of the last month's range. Okay, but still closed bullish, right? And we can see that the reaction from this tiny monthly imbalance here, right, is what spurred that move. Although we didn't close higher here, we did close bullish, but we closed inside the range. So there is a possibility here that we do see a retracement now, maybe going lower this month. But let's take a look at the weekly first. Right, because you can see the monthly imbalance here. Price is reacting bullishly off of that each time we come back to it, right? But we aren't seeing any follow through. We aren't seeing price go up and clearing out the highs. So we're kind of stuck in this range. So on the weekly, what that means is that we're trading into this OB here, right? And so each kind of tap into that has sent price higher, but it hasn't been able to break structure. So we're just kind of in a consolidation. It's not really, it's just a range that we're in right now. We need to see price break out of the range for, a little bit more clarity. And if we go to the daily chart, okay, what we can see, what we are doing right now is just basically trading in between this high and this low of the range. We have seen instances of divergence with ES, which has, kind of given us moves like this, right? So the bullish divergence here from ES gave us this move up to this high, right? Trading back to the imbalance in the gap level here. But then the ES divergence, the bearish divergence, pushed price lower, right? But ultimately, still staying inside of this range. So we haven't really moved outside of this range, but we have been trading pretty aggressively inside of it once we get to the extremes. All right, so the last thing that we did this week was we traded back into a gap area here back into the high of the divergence high, which created the ES divergence here and the order block. And then we reacted to that bearishly, okay, and then we came back down with a bearish candle close, right? So from here, potentially we could see a reversal back down into this range, right? Or maybe even coming back to take out these lows here, or even this low here, okay? And so if we go to the 4-hour chart, all right, what we can see is some good evidence of that playing out, right? So reacting to the bearish imbalance here, seeing the pin and then the move down, the aggressive move down, okay? What we need to see for that confirmation is, you can see so far we're still holding the lows, right? It's still making a higher low here with this candle close. So we need to see price actually break through. And so this level here would be first, right? And then followed by this, and then eventually this whole structure down here, right? So I want to see if we get that domino effect this week, taking out this low and then this low, and then just keep, you know, continually going down in succession. We can see some nice bearish order flow already kicking in, right? So the start of the week, if it continues to be bearish, you know, hopefully it's not like last week where we saw the price drop and then just kept dropping without even really getting a chance to get into this move here. So I want to see that, you know, same kind of, you know, impulse and that momentum, but I want to be able to, you know, capitalize on some moves during the week as well. So we do see that this level will be the first to go, and I would like to see a candle close, right? I don't want to see it wick below and then come right back up, because that potentially could mean that we still go higher. So I want to see this continue down lower, and then a candle close below these levels here would solidify that for me on NQ. Right, and then last but not least, ES. Okay, if we look at the monthly on ES, one thing you'll note here on ES is on the monthly, we've actually come up and taken out both the highs and the lows, right, of the previous month. We did close bullish. Okay, so this is kind of also, you know, probably most likely going to be stuck in a range for me, because we did sweep high and low, right? So coming back into the range is possible, but also moving back up is possible as well. But, you know, ultimately I'm probably going to be looking for price to stay inside of a range until we get a little bit more confirmation. On the weekly, all right, if we take a look at the weekly chart, price swept the highs up here, right, and then traded back into the range here, and we saw a little bullish push, you know, back up to the highs. So it's possible that we do break out of the range here, but, you know, it's also possible we start to retrace back lower again, right, and just stay inside of this kind of consolidation that we're in. All right, if we go to the daily chart, right, we can see the points of the divergence where we saw on NQ, right, which gave us this move higher and this move lower, right, and this move lower actually is trading back into the daily order block level here and giving us a bearish pin. Okay, so I want to see if we can continue to trade lower here. The next area I'd be targeting would be the low of this wick, and then refilling here the rest of this imbalance that we didn't fill with that wick, right? So that would be the first level. This level here is 59.46, right, or 45 thereabouts. And so I want to see if this rejection here, right, is confirmed or valid, right? The order block holding, the divergence also holding there, and then seeing if price will go lower down to this level right here. Okay, and then if we will continue lower from there, like this. Okay, just like I want to see on NQ. So that is the idea. Let's go down to the 4-hour here. Let's see if we can also get some confirmation. So just like NQ, you can see price trading back up into that premium. We have the order block here. In the case of NQ, it's the imbalance, right? But same idea. You can see that the big bullish candle, or sorry, big bearish candles have come in, right, creating potential imbalances on the downside here that price will respect and continue to trade down off of. All of these lows here, candle close below the lows here, will give me that confirmation that we are going to continue a little lower, right? And then just want to see price retrace back into the imbalances that we create, and then continue to trade lower down the range. All right, and so that is the rundown, guys. I know that that was a little bit lengthy, okay, but those are the things that I'm going to be watching for this week. And you guys know that I've now transitioned over to futures, right? So I'm mainly going to be looking at NQ and ES for the trades. Our futures group right now is doing really well. Last week we had some pretty nice wins throughout the week. I will probably do a separate video on some of the trades and the progress that we've done, because I know we just, I wasn't able to do too much detail on the last video because I don't want these videos to go too long. So I'll probably do another video on the trades that we took last week and some of the results that we've been having and the progress that we've been having so far with the group. So far, if you have any questions on that, you can always message me. If you guys are still interested in getting involved, like I mentioned last week, the discount for the lifetime VIP is going to run through until the end of next week. Okay, and then after that, we're going to put the prices back up to normal, and you guys will have to act on that quickly this week if you want to get involved with the discount. So if you have any questions, let me know. Links will be in the description for that, and also for the information for the webinar that was held, so you guys know what I'm talking about. But if there's anything else you guys need to contact me, just leave some comments below the video or message me directly on Telegram. And that's going to do it for this week, guys. Good luck with your trades, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Feel me.